If the pandemic has taught us anything, it's that having one business is just simply not enough. If your business is one of the areas affected by a global economic crisis or a pandemic or something like that, then that's not a good place to be. And that's where diversifying or having little side hustles can be really important. Personally speaking, I've got 6 streams of income, which means that I'm better protected for if anything happens. And if one area is not doing so well, then chances are one of the other areas is. So today I'm gonna go through 50 online business ideas and I'm gonna rank them if they're a waste of time or if they're something that you should be doing. I have to give a shout out to a good friend of mine, Jordan Platten, who did this over on his channel, and I'm interested to see what we would do differently. We're gonna rank these from top tier, absolutely must be doing it in 2023, ones that I would start, but maybe I just don't have the time to do, things that are okay business models, what are a complete waste of time and completely trash, don't even consider it. And what's important to know is that some of these options will trade time for money, while others will be making you money in the background and creating more of a passive income. So first up here is surveys. Surveys are completely trash. Absolutely, don't even bother considering it. So many people, and I've had family friends say to me about doing surveys before, where they spend an hour filling out this online survey just to get a free dinner at a local restaurant or to get paid like £10 or something like that. It's like, hello, how much is your hour worth to you? If you're swapping your time for money, it's not necessarily gonna be a good investment. And especially for a tenner or the sake of a meal out with friends, to me, it's not worth spending an hour filling out an online survey. The money's just not in it, so surveys are trash. Don't even bother doing that as a business model. Next up, we've got app development. I mean, if it goes well, it could be like, yeah, it would start, but the reality is so many people are creating apps and most people don't fully know what they're doing. It takes a lot of knowledge, a lot of investment in money, and you've got to market it, you've got to hope people download it. So for me, I'm gonna say it's probably a bit of a waste of time, to be honest with you. I just think unless you're super techie and you just love doing that and don't mind spending all of your evenings developing apps, then maybe do it for fun, but I don't think it's a serious business model to go straight into unless you're already in that space and have very good knowledge. Shopify would absolutely start without a doubt. I actually want to release a clothing company, which I think is exclusive for this channel. I just feel like there's a lack of like t-shirts and hoodies for filmmakers that I personally would wear. So I'm actually trying to work on some designs and stuff at the moment. So Shopify is definitely gonna be, if not top tier, but I'm gonna leave it on would start because that's in the pipeline and I'm super excited about it. It's one of those things where it's like, it's gonna be more of a passion-led project for me. Because of the amount of time that I can dedicate to it, but I'm actually super excited to start it, so I think that's really cool. Amazon, FBA, drop shipping, selling stuff on Amazon, again, would start. I said in a previous video as well that actually, if I had kind of more time or it ranked higher up on my priority list, I would start a drop shipping business on Amazon, selling filmmaking equipment, but it just takes a lot of time to work out the gaps in the market. What do I feel like isn't accessible at the moment and actually go for an area that is going to impact people's lives? That's certainly something that I'd want to focus on. Of course, if you're looking to start a dropshipping business or an Amazon business, then you can actually find out by looking at Amazon what sellers are making the most amount of money and then basically just copy their products, rebrand them and sell them slightly positioned differently. That's a really good business model. So yeah, I would start it, but for me, I want to spend a bit of time looking into it a little bit more deeply to provide value. We're obviously trying to build like a whole bigger picture business here, maybe a personal brand. So it has to align with, for me, filmmaking and what I would actually use in my day-to-day life. So unfortunately, it's gonna take a little bit longer for me to get around to doing that, but absolutely would start it. Selling stuff on eBay, I'm gonna say it's okay. I think that's a good option. I think if you're trying to find some quick money, then absolutely. I mean, I said again previously that you can literally go onto Facebook Marketplace, buy some stuff that's super cheap and just resell it on eBay. And if you're fine just to sit, or if you've got a spare room or garage or a lockup or something that you can store some of this stuff and you're happy to sit on it for a little bit, then you probably will end up selling all the stuff and you can make some good markups. I mean, like I constantly get rid of stuff for super cheap just because I want it out of my house. So yeah, eBay, sell stuff on eBay, why not? Go for it. Clothing, yeah, I would start because basically it's exactly what I said with Shopify. The two link together. If you're looking to start a clothing company, I actually think for 2023, people are gonna gravitate towards that more. People are starting to become more creative and buy products, particularly clothing designs, from smaller unknown people because everyone wants that unique look. And you can basically find out print on demand services. You can Google that or go onto Shopify, link it to an Etsy store or something like that, which is the next one on my list. So I'm going to drag that up into Would Start because the three kind of interlink with each other. And it's just a really nice way to make a bit of a passive income. I don't think it's going to be game changing amounts of money, but I absolutely personally would start a clothing brand because I think it's a really cool thing to do. And I think it's an okay business model. I think it's going to make you a little bit, a little bit of money on the side. And if you're doing it for fun, then great. This is something my brother's actually doing. He's got a brand that I'll link below. It's called Human Kindness. His ethos is all about just spreading positivity and kindness. He does a lot of stuff about like suicide prevention, mental health awareness. So please, if you've got a little bit of time, go check him out. I think the designs are really cool. Good quality stuff as well, actually. That's something that he's been really passionate about, is finding good quality stuff and not just the standard, hey, we printed this on a t-shirt, do you want it for $30 or whatever? So yeah, go and have a little look at that. I think he's got a really cool thing going. Facebook Marketplace, yeah, I think is okay, selling some stuff. I mean, it's only gonna get you so far, but I think it's an okay business model if you're starting out, if you are a beginner. I think if you're more experienced, then maybe these things are more of a waste of time. If I was looking at this me personally, then I would move these into a waste of time because I'm not interested in it. But I'm trying to take this subjectively from if you're looking to start a side hustle, a multiple stream of income. Like I said, this is gonna be another stream of income for me. So I think that's really exciting. So yeah, this can be another stream of income for you on the side, buying and selling stuff, or just selling stuff that you don't need or don't use anymore. Depop goes in line with okay, again, just selling stuff online. I'm not particularly fashionable. I kind of just wear like nice clothes. I guess generally quite smart, maybe some designer brands. But I know a load of people who are super fashionable and super cool, and they sell stuff on Depop all the time. So yeah, apparently it's good. Don't know much about it. I'd say it's an okay business model as like a side hustle thing. As a main source of income, I would say probably not, because again, it relies quite heavily on a few factors. I'm not super educated in that field, so I'm gonna leave it in okay for the time being. Social media marketing agency, absolute, to be honest with you, top tier, would absolutely start. I've got a lot of friends in this space, Jordan Platten being one of those, and a very good friend of mine, Joe Hides as well, who is his business partner, and they're smashing it. And also, it's something that's not going away, you know? Do you think people are gonna stop using social media in the next 10 years? Absolutely not. They might use different platforms, but social media marketing is huge. You don't necessarily have to be running adverts and investing in loads of knowledge on how to run campaigns. You can simply look at creators or businesses and say, hey, I can post organic content for you on your behalf. We actually sell it. So anyone out there that runs a video production company or a videography business, sell it as an additional service. Hey, I've just created these videos for you. Would you like me to post them on your behalf? It's going to cost you an extra X amount of money to do that. Businesses sometimes see a lot of value in doing that. We can charge a few $100s a month for just posting on their behalf. So yeah, absolutely top tier, definitely consider doing it. So this next one kind of goes in line with social media marketing, what I was saying about the organic side, if you don't want to run paid campaigns, if you're just starting out. This is more like interacting with comments, clients, liking other people's posts, and actually creating brand interaction. Again, this is something that I think is a kind of a good business model to start, but I'm gonna put it as okay. And the reason for that is running paid campaigns and having monthly paying clients through running a social media marketing agency is undoubtedly an insanely good business model that you should consider. Doing organic posting on its own, or just liking and interacting with brand pages, or becoming a bit more of like a social media marketing manager type person is okay, but it's going to require you and unless you can get other people in to do that, it becomes quite hard to scale. Ultimately, the big money is going to be up here. This is going to be small amounts of money. So I'm going to put it as okay, worth considering. Now we've got consultancy, and this is 100% top tier as well. If you already have, and I refer to it as IP, which is intellectual property, if you already have specific knowledge about a certain area or niche, then that knowledge is really valuable because people don't necessarily know that. And for instance, this is something that I do. I offer personalized mentoring. I do 3-month boot camps where I work with filmmakers over a period of 3 months to help create stable incomes for their businesses. And that's just because I'm a few steps ahead of where they want to be. I'm not saying I know everything, and I learn from mentors myself. And I particularly learn from mentors in other industries because I feel like they can bring things that I didn't think about beforehand and apply that to my own business. So consultancy for businesses, if you already know something, don't assume other people don't know that thing, because chances are they don't know it. So therefore the information you have inside your head is really valuable. So yeah, business consultancy, absolutely up there. Lead generation is a good thing to start as well. I'm gonna put this in, would start because we kind of have started it. So we created a very small online course. It's like $47 called the Ultimate Leads Finder. And basically we show people different ways to find thousands of leads. And what a lead is a potential customer, someone that you're looking to make a sale to. So if you think about your ideal customer for your business, then a lead would be that person. So you want to generate thousands of people who look like that to then try and sell your services to. And that's actually a really helpful task in itself. In the past, we've employed people to do lead generation where they basically take the information that we're teaching people, they do it on behalf of businesses and say, here you go, here's 10,000 people who would fit your ideal customer. These are people who we think will buy from you, and then it goes into their sales process. So yeah, I think it's an easy thing to start. I think it has a lot of value to it as well. Not super high money. People aren't looking to pay a lot of money for that kind of stuff, but yeah, definitely is something to consider, and I would suggest that people start. Sales reps as well I'm gonna say is like an okay thing. I think if you're really good at sales, and that's something that's quite hard to find, I think good salespeople are few and far between. The problem with salespeople is everyone will tell you they're really good at sales and they'll try and sell you on how good they are at sales, but doesn't necessarily mean that they deliver results. So always look for someone with a track record if you're in business. But if you are a salesperson, then selling your services, yeah, is absolutely a good thing to do. Largely, you want to base it around commission, basically lead with value first. So base it on a commission structure. So maybe you do take a payment, a monthly fee, plus a commission for the amount of successful business that you actually do. But ultimately, it still takes up a lot of your time. It's going to be quite difficult to scale unless you use like a method such as kind of a connector. So you join businesses to other businesses and then you take a commission on like their repeat sale or something like that. But I think it's an okay business model if you're good at that. I certainly wouldn't discount it. SEO, again, I'm gonna have to probably put in okay. I'm gonna be quite on the fence with this. Like, basically, you get way quicker results running advert campaigns than you will do with SEO. However, SEO will help you probably rank for longer. As soon as you stop running paid campaigns, then your exposure kind of goes, whereas SEO will help build it there for the long term, but you have to constantly keep doing it. So for businesses, I think they do see value in it. If you know about it, then that's great. There's obviously a monthly recurring fee with that because you're going to want to keep doing SEO for businesses. So I think it's okay. I just think it's not as good as starting a social media marketing agency, to be honest. Email campaigns, email outreach, yeah, is something, I would say is okay to do. We ultimately get a lot of work through our email campaigns, and it takes us a lot of time, so having someone to do that is great. And if we want someone to do that, then there's no reason we wouldn't outsource that. So yeah, running email campaigns for people. Basically, that's where you might offer these two together. So I only put this in would start because we kind of have started it. Maybe I'll bring that down to here. So I think you could offer those two together where basically say, we'll find you thousands of leads for your business, and then we'll run a targeted email campaign to convert those people into meetings. and we're gonna set some meetings with them. I think that's quite a good business model. But again, it's gonna be very driven on your outcome in terms of if you don't get any results in the first couple of months, they're gonna drop you as a business. So, you need to think about that to begin with. Now this says OnlyFans, which comes later on, but I'm gonna say that this is website design because for me, website design is something that is a no-brainer. Absolutely would start that as a business. I'm gonna go as far as saying actually top tier, and the reason for that is this. If you are just starting out at the very beginning of your journey, you can sell templated websites to businesses. You can literally go into a business and say, hey, I've noticed your website looks really dated. I can create you a new, fresh website. Our templated websites start from literally a couple $1,000s or a couple £1,000, and that has so much value to it. It doesn't take you very much time to do. You're just taking a template that they pre-agree that they like. You're moving the information over onto that template, and I think it's a really valuable thing to do. So yeah, if you're looking for a business model idea, website creation is absolutely up there, no doubt about it. Airbnb, I'm gonna say it's probably a bit of waste of time. Really, unless if you're renting out a spare room in your house, what impact does that have on you? And also people forget about the things either side of it. You need to have cleaners, you need to keep upkeep, general maintenance and all those things. Maybe you have multiple properties, in which case then yeah, obviously move on to Airbnb, but I think for the most part it's out of reach and I just think, yeah, probably a waste of time. Affiliate marketing as well is, between okay and a bit of a waste of time. It relies on your network. So if you've got a big following already, what affiliate marketing is basically you have a unique link that takes someone to a product or a service, and when that customer buys, you get a commission on that link. So for instance, we might do this with brands, go and visit the link in the description below, and we'll then get a commission cutback of a purchase. It's a way for them to track it. We actually don't really do that too much, to be honest with you, but because of the fact that realistically, we want it to be valuable for the brand and we want it to work. And I just think that for the most part, it depends on so many factors. Affiliate marketing can be good, and I know a lot of people that make a lot of money as a passive income out of it. And it is a good passive income option, but it all depends on your network to begin with. YouTube. I would start, but you have to think about it. I've been doing this for 2 years and I've been so fortunate to have such an amazing community. We're approaching 20,000 subscribers. That's insane. I never thought that we'd be here. But it takes a lot of effort, creating these videos and editing them and trying to think of new ideas that you guys like and pleasing some of your audience, but not all of them. And it's difficult. And I really care. And I think if you care, it becomes a difficult job to do properly. And if you don't care, you're not gonna get any results. So I would start it. Being transparent, YouTube probably makes me $5,000 a year, which is nice, it's really good, but for me, it's not really kind of, I guess, about the money. I think, don't get me wrong, I would love to get to 1 million subscribers. The next step for us would be 50,000 subscribers after 20,000. That would be awesome. So if you're not subscribed, please do. I like to think we provide loads of value, but yeah, I think YouTube has to be a labor of love. You have to be passionate about it. And then the money and all the rest of it comes much later on. But yeah, I obviously would start it because I'm here, but I actually don't think it's necessarily the best business model if we're starting a business. So for that reason, I'm gonna move it into okay. TikTok. Now, if we're talking about becoming a TikToker, waste of time. You're gonna make literally next to no money, a trash, I would leave it at that. Becoming a TikTok manager, however, is okay. Maybe becoming a TikTok editor is a good thing. But I think if we look at TikTok on a whole, I'd say TikTok editor would start as a business model because that's very sought after. If you're gonna be a TikTok manager, okay, options or opportunities. And I'm thinking about growth here as well. If you're just talking about becoming a TikToker, absolute trash, don't bother, because you gotta do it for love and it makes you so little money. It's not a business model in itself. Same with Instagram. I mean, I think it's kind of dying a little bit, so I'm gonna actually put probably a bit more of a waste of time. It has opportunity, but I just probably wouldn't focus on it too much, to be honest with you. Blogs, I'm gonna say trash. I just think they are valuable, but I think unless you're working with someone, I mean, if you're really good at text and you like writing, I'm such a visual learner, I hate writing stuff, so it would be a non-starter for me. And I think like there are services out there, but you're also up against like Fiverr and people who can write out a blog super quick and easy and very cheaply. And I just think it's a saturated market, plus a market that, I don't know, I think it is coming back slightly, but for me, it's just, I won't bother looking into that, to be honest with you. Podcast. Interesting one. A lot of friends have started podcasts and they said would start. For me, I'm looking at this from like a business opportunity. I'm gonna put it in waste of time. I think I'm gonna put it in waste of time because I just like, you just need to put in so much effort to make it a viable business income, a stream of income for your business. It's just not where I'd start. I think, again, if you're doing these things passion-led, then that's fine, but you need to understand that passion and profit don't go hand in hand. That's not a thing, you know? Otherwise, I would have given up on YouTube years ago and various other business ventures. So yeah, maybe if you like that stuff, cool, think it's a good idea, but the reality is so many podcasts flop because they just don't get the numbers that maybe people would expect after doing it. And you've got to be pumping this stuff out really quickly. I love going on podcasts. I love the platforms my friends have. A really good podcast, by the way, is the Unwind podcast by Hamby Media. A good friend of mine, Lucas, is awesome. I got featured on it, which was sick. And I love that. But yeah, for me, I just wouldn't start it as a business model. I think it's a bit of a waste of time. So now we're talking about being an influencer. Yeah, I'm gonna say waste of time because it's not completely trash. You can obviously get brand deals and stuff, but it just takes so long. I think people are very unrealistic about growing quick and will almost do anything they could do to become successful. But for me, yeah, it's just like, yeah, it's gonna take time. Not there. OnlyFans. Well, if you're female, maybe it's top tier. If you're male, then it's probably trash. I just think, I'm just gonna put trash because I'm a guy and I just think, yeah, it has a lot of potential, but one thing I'd say is you just think about the long-term impact. Like, you might feel that way now, you might be doing it for money and quick money, and fine, there's nothing wrong with that at all, but how are you gonna feel about that later in life when you have kids, when those kids go to school, etc., etc. Maybe you're cool with that and that's totally fine. There's no right or wrong answer here. But for me, I just think like, yeah, again, everyone's attracted to the money from OnlyFans, but I think the reality is it's not as good for many, many people out there. Becoming a copywriter is an okay business model. Yeah, I mean, I'm not very good with text, like I said, so I would outsource those services. So having a copywriter, if you're really good at text and writing stuff out for websites or business product like descriptions and things like that, then yeah, absolutely fine. But you are up against people on Fiverr, people on Upwork, people on people per hour, those kind of platforms where it's going to be quite price driven. So yeah, I would have a little think about that. But I think it's okay business model to start. Logo designer, yeah, absolutely. Again, same sort of thing. Like, it's probably an okay business model. I think as a wider idea of becoming like more like interlinked with like a graphic designer and a few things that are going to come later on in this tier list. As a package, I think they would move up to definitely would start and is a good focus on. But I think individually on its own, just being a logo designer probably isn't the main thing. But I think going into brand strategy, the overall services of what is a brand, their colors, their fonts, their typography, all of those different types of things, their tone of voice, their mission statements, that becomes a better service. But logo design on its own is, yeah, not going to be valuable enough for a business. So this one is like coding for websites. I obviously said websites were really keen up here as like a top tier if you're kind of just starting out. I think this takes like a lot of time to develop like specific things on websites or maybe analytics behind the scenes and performance and all those things. So I think unless you already love websites and you love coding, HTML and CSS and all of that jazz, then really I just probably wouldn't start there unless it's something you super love, to be honest with you. Specifically being a YouTube editor then or a YouTube manager, absolutely would start. I think being in this space and having brought on a YouTube manager to kind of help me a little bit with the things that I don't know, and it's all about bringing on people who are better than you and know that area more than you do, then yeah, it's something that I would start or I would consider or suggest you guys starting as well. So I think that that's a good option if you already know about that. YouTube is obviously growing massively, so again, more businesses are coming onto the platform, which means there's more opportunity for you to take some money. Video editing, 100% top tier. You can make so much money. Like and it's easy-ish to learn. It's hard to get good at and finesse, but there's a huge demand for that stuff. Remote editors, yeah, again, just like a really good thing. Obviously, that's what we do as part of our business. We have a production company, we do filming, we do editing. So I see it being really valuable, but it's actually quite a straightforward thing to start that journey. And you're in the best place if you're subscribed to this channel. Then there's loads of tips on how to start to get businesses to pay for your services. Obviously, we're focused on the business side of filmmaking and editing, so 100% top tier without a doubt. Screenwriting or scripting, no, I just think a bit of a waste of time. There's so many AI technologies out there that actually do a really, really good job of this in terms of like YouTube scripting and stuff like that, that I just think it's probably not really a great business model to go down. Script writing in terms of like bigger film productions, it's a long journey. You know, if you want to get famous in film production, then you're going to be there for a very long time. I'm not saying it's not doable. I'm just saying personally, if I was suggesting this to anyone, these are the things that I would suggest looking at as opportunities to start a legit business. These are like, okay, they might use up a lot of your time. It might be harder to grow and scale, might be really competitive. So yeah, I'm going to put that in here. Photography, absolutely 100% top tier without a doubt, and videography goes in line with that as well. It's exactly what we do. It's super passion led. You want a job that you enjoy every single day, and if that for you is filmmaking and photography, then it has to be top tier. You can make a solid business out of it. One thing I would suggest though is think about your positioning. Think about becoming a company rather than a freelancer, because there's so many more perks to that in the long run than just being you, because you can only grow to as big as you personally can. Whereas when you have a company, you can grow to become much bigger than you ever imagined. There's loads of videos about that on this channel, so yeah, take a look. SaaS and app design, yeah, bit of, I mean, yeah, you're gonna make a ton of money if it's successful, but yeah, it's just gonna be down here. I'm just, yeah. Starting up those kind of businesses, like the Silicon Valley style businesses, is just, yeah, not something that I think is yeah, a lot of investment basically. A lot of them fail, and few of them work. The ones that do work, yeah, get lots of money, but yeah, I just don't think it's a good opportunity. Kind of goes in line with app making as well, for like actual apps for your phone. I think I kind of mentioned something like this earlier. Maybe this was more like gaming apps or just gaming in general. Yeah, just personally, all list on waste time, wouldn't even bother considering it. Creating extensions for and plugins for Google Chrome. Yeah, just again, like, unless you're just super passionate about this stuff or see a huge gap in the market with a massive opportunity, it's going to take a lot of time to learn this stuff and probably a lot of resources, and then you've got to sell it. You actually have to sell these things. You might want to get on influencers and so on and so forth, and it's just going to take a lot of time. Stock markets, like, yeah, it's okay. Like, I would start out, I've had some investments in the past, and my investment strategy is generally buy at the highest point and then watch it crash over many years so that you've got nothing left, which isn't the best strategy in case you had guessed. So yeah, maybe feel a little bit weird about this. So yeah, but you know, it's okay. I know a lot of people making a lot of money from it, which is great, but this is a full-time job. Like, if you're just doing day trading, then you might as well just invest your money through a pension and stuff like that. I think, like, otherwise, yeah, I don't know. I just think like day trading, you've got to be on it. Like, you have to understand the markets well enough. So yeah, it's okay, but yeah, go into these things with caution. Bitcoin, I'll have to put it as okay and not a waste of time. I got into Bitcoin again at the highest point and then lost a lot of money because I'm not in this industry. I don't love it. Like, I was like, making some quick money appealed to me. So I didn't know enough about it. I just followed all the hype. And obviously when there's always hype is the point not to buy, because when there's hype, it's pushing the price up, and then ultimately everyone's going to take their money out because they're making money. You want to buy when no one's talking about it and it's at its lowest, obviously. So for me, Bitcoin is like, okay, can make some money, maybe not a viable business model. And the same with NFTs and with that as well. I just think buy it because you like it, don't buy it for an investment. My investments are much more tangible. Watches, jewelry, cars, sorry, not cars, cars are really bad, houses, things like that. I just think having those assets that kind of have stood the test of time maybe a little bit better, but ultimately I still buy those things based on my love for them and being able to wear those things every day or so on and so forth, not so much about what return is this gonna give me. And I think, yeah, I'd much rather spend my time creating a proper business model that can scale at a rate and have a team of people working away at it while I focus on more passion things maybe. So yeah, that's something I would consider. I literally have no idea what these next two things are. I'm gonna assume it's maybe like networking and then maybe a website search engine. Sorry, Jordan, I'm gonna move these straight into here. I have no idea what they are. Yeah, wouldn't do either of them, to be frank. Online gambling, trash, 100%, don't do it. Like it's this thing of like get rich quick. Like everyone who is super successful is because of hard work, dedication, having a vision and just going for that goal. Not because they've gambled loads of money. The people who gamble money are often people who had those things the good things in place to begin with and have money to spend on gambling for the attraction of fun and stuff. Often they already have these stability things in place. Just gambling as like a business model is obviously terrible. Online courses, yeah, obviously. Up here is like, to be honest with you, top tier. I think it's a really good business model. Talking about intellectual property again, if you know something and can teach it to someone else, like this consultancy, it takes the consultancy aspect from the personal level, which you're gonna get way more value out of as a business. That's why this is way more expensive. Like my 3-month boot camps where I work with people one-to-one is obviously more expensive because I'm so hyper focused on that business and getting them what they need. Whereas online courses are still super valuable and therefore they're a lot more cost effective so they can be sold to, I guess, more people. It's like a bit of more of a passive income in some senses. Although the way that we've structured our business is not so much passive because we do group mentoring sessions with our academy. We have just a huge platform that we offer with coaches and so on and so forth that has just made this I think the value just so much more than just an online course where you click on and there's no engagement there. So for me, that's not what my online course is about. But online course is absolutely top tier, would consider doing it. If you know something that you think other people don't, then create a little course about it. It doesn't have to be a big course, it can be a mini course. Definitely good opportunity. Creating mock-ups for businesses is kind of like quite a cool thing. We do a lot of mock-ups, but obviously for our course and various other products. But I'm gonna say it's a waste of time because you can create mock-ups on Fiverr very cheaply. You can get mock-up templates online, again, cheap or for free. So I don't think you're providing much value. But if you start to accumulate like, or combine, you know, your logo design along with your website design, along with a bit of consultancy and a bit of like mock-ups and stuff like that, then that kind of whole graphic design area like has a huge amount of value, but individually it's just not, I don't think gonna necessarily get you there. Residential arbitrage from Airbnb. My understanding is like when you basically rent out other people's properties on their behalf. I'm gonna put it down here with Airbnb as well. Like I just think like, again, it depends on your network. You're gonna have to be making those connections and sales and like, yeah, you can make some money from it, but there's a lot of other factors into it where these are just gonna get you to where you probably wanna be much quicker. And I would argue that are probably more enjoyable, but yeah, it might be a nice little thing, but yeah, definitely not something I would consider too much. Starting up your own networking event, I would say is something I actually would start because I look at this from two ways. I would start it because I think it has loads of value connecting other businesses. And obviously the more, sales is all about the amount of people you know. So the more people you know, the better relationship you have with those people, the more likely they are to buy your products and services. However, if you don't have a product and service to sell in the first place, then it's going to probably be a waste of time. So I'm going to put it in okay for that reason, because unless you already have a business, I wouldn't start a networking event. But if you have a business, then yeah, it's probably quite a good little thing to do. Becoming a virtual assistant, I would say is okay. And actually, if you're starting out in business, that could be quite a good thing to do. VAs or virtual assistants are basically there to help you reply to emails, answer phone calls, things that just take up quite a lot of your time. That's definitely a sought after service from a lot of businesses. We've used VAs in the past, and you can get paid quite well per hour, but it does swap your time for money. So it might just be worth thinking about that. If you're setting it up as a business model, it's only scalable to a certain point, but becoming a virtual assistant is something that is quite straightforward to do. Certainly, I think it's a good opportunity if you don't know what to get into as a little way of making a bit of money. Teaching online, unfortunately, it doesn't come up in here with online courses because it's way less passive. So I think it's okay. Again, if you know something and you can teach something or tutor it, whether that's in person or digital, then I think it's a good business model to start, but that depends on what you know in the first place. Always think about what skills do you know that you can start a business with. And I think it's something that is valuable. A lot of people are investing into their own knowledge and expertise to develop their expertise. So yeah, I think it's a good opportunity to start, but it's okay. I don't think it's something I would rush to or suggest that people rush towards. Finally, a pyramid scheme. I mean, arguably could be top tier if it works really well. Now, often people give pyramid schemes a really bad kind of rep because of the nature of like the person at the top makes obviously the most money and has all these people kind of working for them beneath it. But everyone, I know people who are involved in pyramid schemes that are maybe in like the middle tiers or whatever, and they basically have a team under them, and then they get paid on how much that team makes. And then if that team creates another team beneath them, then they get paid double and so on and so forth. It can be a really good kind of business model, I guess. I don't actually know too much about it. It seems a little bit complicated. Some people say it works for them, but as a result, I'm going to say okay, but be aware, not all of these pyramid schemes are a nice thing to be involved in. Some of them can have really detrimental and down points to them. So I would do your research. But and also, if you're starting a pyramid scheme, you need something to sell. I think that's the main thing as well. So actually, maybe it comes to a waste of time, really, to be honest with you. I haven't started it. I have no interest in starting something like that. Some people I know who do it and they sell makeup products and stuff like that. Seems to work for them as a bit of passive income, but ultimately, yeah, it's not what I would rush to. If you are still watching at this point, then you're clearly looking for a business to start over 2023. So why not take a look at this video right here? Tons of valuable information about how to find the right business idea for you, how to sell it, market it, and a few more lucrative business ideas. I hope you enjoyed this video. Until next time, peace.